Listen up, the world doesn't reward ignorance. It rewards wisdom, execution, and the ability to apply knowledge with precision. If you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not learning, you're losing. And if you're not educating yourself daily, you are falling behind fast. The world operates on a simple yet profound principle. Those who prepare are the ones who succeed. Success is not an accident. It doesn't just happen to people because they got lucky or were born with special talents. It happens because they put in the work ahead of time, long before the opportunity arrives. The difference between those who struggle and those who thrive is not intelligence or natural ability. It is preparation. And preparation is a direct result of education, discipline, and an unshakable commitment to learning. Most people want success, but very few are willing to prepare for it. They want the rewards without the investment. They want the paycheck without developing the skills. They want the promotion without mastering their craft. But success doesn't work that way. The person who gets the opportunity is the person who has already done the work in the dark when no one was watching. They have studied, practiced, refined their abilities, and conditioned their mind to operate at a higher level. They don't wait for the perfect moment to start preparing. They prepare every single day so that when the moment comes, they are ready to seize it. The reason most people stay stuck is because they underestimate the power of preparation. They think they can wing it. They think they can wait until the opportunity presents itself and figure things out on the spot. But that's not how success works. Success does not give you time to get ready. It rewards those who are already ready. When an opportunity comes, you will either rise to the occasion or fall to the level of your preparation. If you haven't been preparing, you will miss the moment. If you have, you will step into it with confidence and take full advantage of what's in front of you. So every champion, every high achiever, every wealthy individual understands this. They don't leave their success to chance. They study their craft relentlessly. They put in hours of practice when others are sleeping. They sharpen their skills while others waste time on distractions. They know that the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. They don't wait for a lucky break because they know luck is simply when preparation meets opportunity. And the ones who are always prepared will always look lucky to those who refuse to do the work. People who struggle often look at successful individuals and assume they had it easy. They think they were born with some special gift that made things work for them. But what they don't see is the countless hours spent reading, studying, practicing, failing, and refining. They don't see the mornings spent in personal development before the rest of the world wakes up. They don't see the sacrifices, the discipline, and the daily commitment to getting better. That's the preparation no one talks about, but it's the only thing that guarantees success in the long run. Excuses are the enemy of preparation. People will always find reasons why they can't start today. They tell themselves they don't have time, they don't have resources, or they don't have the right circumstances, but those are just excuses designed to keep them comfortable. The truth is, anyone can prepare. Anyone can dedicate time every day to getting better. Anyone can invest in their own education, their own growth, and their own future. The only difference between those who succeed and those who don't is that successful people refuse to let excuses dictate their level of preparation. The best way to predict the future is to prepare for it. Preparation builds confidence. When you have studied, when you have trained, when you have invested in yourself, you step into every situation with boldness because you know you are ready. You don't second guess yourself. You don't hesitate. You don't shrink in fear. You take action because you know you have already done the work. And that level of confidence is what sets you apart from the crowd. It's what makes people trust you, follow you, and invest in you Preparation creates certainty, and certainty creates influence. No one succeeds by accident. It is always the result of preparation, dedication, and a relentless commitment to learning. The question is not whether success is possible for you. The question is whether you are willing to prepare for it. Education is often mistaken for schooling, but the two are not the same. Schooling is a structured system designed to provide basic knowledge and skills, but it is only a fraction of what true education entails. Real education is lifelong, self-directed, and deeply personal. It goes beyond memorizing facts and passing exams. It is about acquiring wisdom, developing critical thinking, and applying knowledge in ways that create impact. The most successful people in the world are not simply those who graduated with the highest grades, but those who never stopped educating themselves beyond the classroom. School teaches you what to think, but true education teaches you how to think. In traditional schooling, you are given information and expected to accept it as truth. You are tested on your ability to recall facts rather than your ability to analyze, innovate, or create. But in the real world, memorization is not enough. The most valuable individuals are those who can solve problems, adapt to changing circumstances, and think independently. This kind of intelligence is not developed through standardized tests or rigid curriculums. It comes from a commitment to continuous learning and real-world application. The limitation of formal schooling is that it operates on a fixed timeline. You go to school for a set number of years, take the required courses, and then you graduate, often with the illusion that your education is complete. But life does not operate on a fixed timeline. The world evolves, industries change, and new knowledge is constantly being created. If you stop learning the moment you leave school, you quickly become outdated. Those who succeed are the ones who recognize that education is a never-ending process. They understand that every day is an opportunity to grow, refine their skills, and gain new insights that keep them ahead of the game. Some of the most successful entrepreneurs, investors, and leaders never relied solely on formal schooling to achieve greatness. They pursued knowledge relentlessly, whether through books, mentorship, hands-on experience, or self-study. They understood that expertise is not handed out in diplomas, but is built through discipline, practice, and curiosity. They sought wisdom from those who had already achieved success, learned from their failures, and applied what they learned in real time. They knew that the most valuable lessons in life are not found in textbooks, but in experience, in conversations with the right people, and in the pursuit of mastery. A major flaw in traditional schooling is that it conditions people to seek approval rather than seek knowledge. Students are trained to focus on grades rather than understanding. They are taught to follow instructions rather than ask questions. This mindset carries over into adulthood, where people prioritize credentials over competence. But in the real world, success is not about how many degrees you have. It's about what you can actually do with the knowledge you possess. A person who has mastered their craft through independent learning, practice, and real-world application will always outperform someone who relies solely on their academic achievements. One of the greatest advantages of self-education is that it allows you to focus on what truly matters to your goals and aspirations. Traditional schooling follows a one-size-fits-all model, but real education is customized to your unique path. If you want to build wealth, you study wealth creation. If you want to become a master in your field, you immerse yourself in that field beyond what any school can teach you. You seek out the best mentors, read the best books, and develop skills that directly contribute to your success. When you take control of your own education, you are no longer limited by what is taught in a classroom. You become the architect of your own knowledge. In today's world, access to knowledge is unlimited. The internet has made it possible to learn anything from anywhere. You can take courses from world-class experts, Listen to powerful minds through podcasts and read books that contain decades of wisdom in a few hundred pages. The people who understand this advantage and use it to their benefit will always be ahead of those who rely solely on formal education. The ability to educate yourself, to seek knowledge proactively, and to develop high-value skills is what separates those who merely survive from those who thrive. The most powerful form of education is the one that never stops. It is not confined to a school building or limited to a certain age. It is a mindset, a commitment to lifelong learning, and a relentless pursuit of knowledge that leads to mastery, success, and freedom. Knowledge alone does not change lives. It is not enough to read books, attend seminars, or listen to motivational speakers. Information without application is wasted potential. What separates those who succeed from those who struggle is not how much they know, but how much they apply. The most powerful individuals are not those who have access to the most information, but those who take that information and put it into action. Applied knowledge is the key to transformation, and without it, knowledge remains nothing more than untapped potential. There are millions of people who have studied success, wealth, and personal growth, yet they remain stuck in the same place year after year. They have read all the books, taken all the courses, and can recite the principles of success, but they have never implemented what they have learned. They treat knowledge like entertainment rather than a tool for real change. They confuse learning with progress, thinking that consuming more information automatically moves them forward. But progress only happens when knowledge is converted into consistent, deliberate action. The difference between the person who wins and the person who stays stagnant is execution. Two people can read the same book on financial independence, but only the one who applies the lessons, invests wisely, and takes calculated risks will see real results. Two people can learn the principles of sales and persuasion, but only the one who practices, refines their skills, and takes action will close deals and build wealth. The world does not pay for what you know, it pays for what you do with what you know. The marketplace rewards action, not theory. Fear is often the biggest reason people fail to apply what they learn. They hesitate because they are afraid of failing, afraid of looking foolish, or afraid of stepping outside their comfort zone. But inaction guarantees failure far more than trying and falling short. The most successful people in the world are not those who never make mistakes, but those who are willing to act despite uncertainty. They understand that failure is not the opposite of success, it is part of the process. Every lesson applied, every skill tested, and every step taken moves them closer to mastery. Repetition and practice are what turn knowledge into power. Just like a muscle, skills must be exercised regularly to grow stronger. A person who learns about leadership but never leads will never develop leadership abilities. A person who studies entrepreneurship but never starts a business will never gain real entrepreneurial experience. Theory only takes you so far. It is the repeated application of principles that turns an average person into an expert, an amateur into a professional, and a dreamer into a doer. Many people wait for the perfect time to apply what they have learned, but the perfect time never comes. They convince themselves that they need more preparation, more resources, or more confidence before taking action. But confidence doesn't come before action, it comes as a result of action. The more you apply what you know, the more capable you become. The more you step out and take risks, the more skilled and resilient you grow. Waiting delays success, while action accelerates it. Resources and opportunities follow those who take action. The moment you start applying knowledge, you begin to attract the right connections, the right doors start opening, and the right circumstances align in your favor. The person who sits on knowledge and never applies it remains invisible to opportunities, while the person who executes consistently positions themselves to win. Life rewards those who move, those who create, and those who put knowledge to work in real, tangible ways. People often admire highly successful individuals, assuming they have some secret advantage, but the real secret is simple. They apply what they know. They take what they have learned and turn it into action. They move forward despite obstacles. They implement ideas without hesitation, and they understand that knowledge is only valuable when it is used. Every single day, a decision must be made to grow or to remain the same. Learning is not something that happens by accident. It is a deliberate choice. Some people wake up and choose to engage their minds, expand their understanding, and develop new skills, while others go through life on autopilot, repeating the same patterns, thinking the same thoughts, and wondering why nothing ever changes. The difference between those who rise and those who remain stuck is not opportunity, talent, or luck. It is the conscious decision to learn something new every day. People who commit to daily learning understand that the mind is like a muscle. Just as the body weakens without exercise, the mind deteriorates without challenge. If a person stops learning, they stop growing. And if they stop growing, they start declining. There is no such thing as staying in the same place in life. You are either advancing or falling behind. The world is constantly evolving. Industries are changing, and new knowledge is being created every day. Those who refuse to learn will quickly find themselves outdated, unprepared, and unable to compete in an environment that demands continuous adaptation. Some people believe that once they finish school, their education is complete, but nothing could be further from the truth. Formal education provides a foundation, but real education, the kind that leads to wealth, wisdom, and success, is a lifelong process. It happens when you read books outside of assigned curriculums, when you seek out mentors who have achieved what you desire, and when you apply knowledge in real-world situations. Those who achieve extraordinary success are not those who simply accumulated degrees, but those who made learning a daily habit long after they left the classroom. The difference between those who win and those who struggle is often found in how they use their time. Some spend hours on entertainment, distractions, and mindless scrolling, while others invest that time into learning new skills, gaining insights, and expanding their perspective. The internet has made knowledge more accessible than ever before. Books, courses, podcasts, and mentors are available at the click of a button. The real question is not whether learning is possible, but whether a person values their future enough to make learning a daily priority. Successful people don't leave their growth to chance, they schedule it. They wake up early to read, they set aside time to develop skills, and they actively seek out knowledge that will help them reach their goals. They don't wait for learning to happen to them. They make it happen. They understand that the mind needs constant feeding, just like the body needs food and exercise. If a person stops learning, they start operating on old information, making outdated decisions, and wondering why they can't seem to break through to the next level. Excuses will always try to stand in the way of daily learning. Some people claim they don't have time, yet they find hours to watch television or engage in conversations that add no value to their lives. Others say they don't know where to start, yet they never take the simple step of picking up a book or listening to a podcast that could change their thinking. The truth is, learning is not about having time. It's about making time. It's not about knowing everything. It's about being willing to start with what you have and grow from there. The most successful individuals understand that every new piece of knowledge they acquire gives them an edge. One book can change the way they think about money. One conversation can introduce them to an opportunity they never considered. One new skill can increase their value in the marketplace and open doors that were previously shut. When a person commits to daily learning, they start stacking knowledge like bricks, building a foundation that supports success, wealth, and influence. At the end of the day, everyone has the same 24 hours. Some will use those hours to grow, expand, and move toward their goals, while others will waste them on distractions and stagnation. The difference between where a person is today and where they will be in the future is determined by what they choose to learn on a daily basis. The future belongs to those who decide every single day that learning is not an option, it is a necessity. The people you surround yourself with have a direct impact on your mindset, your habits, and ultimately your success. No one becomes great in isolation. Growth-minded individuals understand that their environment shapes their thinking, their beliefs, and their ability to take action. If you spend time around people who are complacent, negative, or unwilling to grow, their mindset will eventually rub off on you. But if you surround yourself with those who are ambitious, constantly learning, and striving for more, you will naturally begin to adopt their way of thinking and operating. Every conversation you have either pushes you forward or pulls you backward. Some people spend their time talking about problems, complaining about circumstances, and blaming others for their lack of progress. Others talk about solutions, new ideas, and strategies for advancement. If you are constantly in the company of those who dwell in negativity, your perspective on life will become limited. But if you align yourself with individuals who are focused on personal development, financial success, and self-mastery, you will be inspired to think bigger, take bold action, and pursue your highest potential. One of the greatest indicators of future success is the level of people you associate with. If you are always the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room. Growth happens when you challenge yourself. And that challenge comes from being around those who are ahead of you in knowledge, experience, and mindset. High achievers don't settle for comfortable relationships that reinforce their current level. They intentionally seek out mentors, peers, and business partners who will stretch them, challenge them, and push them to operate at a higher frequency. The reason many people struggle to grow is that they are afraid to leave behind old relationships that no longer serve them. They feel obligated to stay connected to people who are comfortable with mediocrity because of shared history or familiarity. But personal growth requires making tough decisions. Not everyone will support your ambition. Some will try to pull you back down to their level because your growth exposes their stagnation. Others will discourage you because they don't believe success is possible for themselves. A growth-minded individual must be willing to prioritize their future over their past and align themselves with those who encourage and inspire them. Energy is contagious. When you are around people who are disciplined, focused, and driven, their energy transfers to you. You begin to mirror their work ethic, their way of thinking, and their high standards. Likewise, when you spend time with people who are lazy, unmotivated, and full of excuses, you will start adopting their patterns without even realizing it. Environment is stronger than willpower. You cannot consistently rise above the level of those you spend the most time with. If you want to elevate your life, you must first elevate your associations. Growth-minded people do not engage in small-minded conversations. They don't waste time gossiping, blaming, or making excuses. They discuss strategies, investments, business ideas, and personal development. They don't complain about problems. They find ways to overcome them. They don't dwell on obstacles. They focus on solutions. When you surround yourself with individuals who think like this, your entire perspective shifts. You begin to see opportunities where others see limitations. You develop a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. You become proactive. The fastest way to level up in life is to get into the right circles. If you want to be wealthy, spend time around those who understand wealth creation. If you want to be healthy, associate with those who prioritize fitness, and nutrition. If you want to grow spiritually, connect with those who are deeply rooted in faith and wisdom. The right people will not only inspire you, they will hold you accountable. They will challenge your excuses, call you out when you settle for less, and push you to maximize your potential. Your environment determines your elevation. The people in your life should reflect the future you are building, not the past you are leaving behind. Every connection either adds value to your life or drains it. Every relationship either expands your vision or limits it. Growth-minded individuals understand that success is not just about what they know, but also about who they surround themselves with. The right associations make the difference between staying average and achieving greatness. Learning is not something that ends when you graduate from school or complete a course. It is a lifelong process that determines the quality of your life. The most successful people in the world did not stop learning once they reached a certain level of achievement. They continued to seek knowledge, refine their skills, and adapt to new information. Those who commit to lifelong learning position themselves for continuous growth, while those who stop learning remain stagnant. The mind, like a muscle, must be exercised daily to remain sharp, relevant, and capable of handling new challenges. The world is constantly evolving. Technology advances, industries change, and new opportunities arise every single day. What worked 10 years ago may no longer be effective today. Those who refuse to learn and adapt will find themselves falling behind, unable to compete in an environment that rewards innovation and progress. On the other hand, those who embrace learning as a daily discipline will always stay ahead of the curve. They are not afraid to update their skills, expand their knowledge, and challenge their existing beliefs to remain at the forefront of their field. Lifelong learning is not just about acquiring knowledge. It is about applying it. Many people read books, attend seminars, or take online courses, but they never put what they learn into action. They accumulate information but fail to implement it in ways that create real change. The true value of learning comes from execution. Knowledge that is applied turns into wisdom, and wisdom turns into results. Those who commit to lifelong learning don't just absorb information. They use it to solve problems, create opportunities, and elevate their lives. One of the greatest advantages of lifelong learning is that it increases adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and circumstances can change in an instant. Those who rely only on what they learned in the past may struggle when faced with new challenges, but those who continue to learn can pivot, adjust, and find solutions. The ability to learn quickly and apply new skills is one of the most valuable assets a person can have. It provides security, confidence, and the ability to navigate an ever-changing world with ease. A commitment to learning also builds confidence. The more you know, the more capable you feel. When you continuously improve your skills, you develop a sense of self-assurance that allows you to take on bigger challenges and seize new opportunities. Many people hesitate to pursue their goals because they don't feel ready. But the truth is, no one is ever fully ready until they start. The more you learn and apply knowledge, the more prepared you become to take bold steps toward success. Lifelong learning is a choice, and it requires discipline. It means setting aside time every day to read, listen, study, and grow. It means being intentional about surrounding yourself with people who challenge your thinking and expose you to new ideas. It means embracing discomfort because growth happens outside of your comfort zone. Those who commit to learning for a lifetime understand that education is not an event, but a daily practice that compounds over time. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking that they already know enough. The moment you believe you have learned everything you need to know is the moment you stop growing. The most successful individuals remain students of life no matter how much they have achieved. They understand that knowledge is infinite and there is always more to discover. They remain humble in their pursuit of wisdom, open to new perspectives, and eager to expand their understanding. True success is not built on talent alone. It is built on continuous learning. Those who commit to educating themselves daily, seeking wisdom from mentors, and applying new knowledge will always have the advantage. They will always be in demand, always be ahead of the competition, and always be ready for the next opportunity.